So the first step in mastering this step is to understand all the steps that led here, because sales is like a beautiful sheet of music. Success begets success. It's rhythmic. There's harmony in the music of sales. So before I dive into this, the rate lock consultation, which is highly critical, it's where everything comes to a head. You've worked so hard to generate the leads. You've worked so hard to get the application, structure the pre-approval letter, update the pre-approval letter. This is where your commission is on spotlight. So it's important to understand what all happens before you get to the rate lock consultation. You work very hard. You labor to get these leads. You promote yourself. You prospect yourself. You're meeting with real estate agents. You're going to events. You're working hard at this stage to ultimately generate what's called leads. How well you do this will directly impact this. If you do the right quantity with the right quality of promoting and prospecting, you will generate more quality and more quantity of leads. What you do here will directly lead to the layout call. You get a lead introduced to you, it's important to get to this lead quickly. It's about connecting the big dots. You got to get to this lead quickly and schedule your initial loan consultation. This initial loan consultation that I've broken down for you, the overview of it in another video, will set this up. This rate lock consultation is first cousins with the initial loan consultation. You understand? They're family members. You got to do a great job. And the initial loan consultation, you're locking that loan. You are locking that borrower in. They're committed to working with you. You've increased the probability that you're going to get to the most important part, which is giving them a loan. The big closing day where you earn your commission and hopefully earn a client and referral partner for life, right? Which is loyalty. These are the big dots that you have to connect. So once you generate that lead, 5 major points of sale for every loan officer, right? You got to get that lead to schedule a consultation call with you. The lead comes in, you got to get to that lead quickly. The initial loan consultation, this is part of the layout. This is where you're going through the home buyer's goals, projections. You're going through the pre-approval letter. They get pre-approved here. Once they get under contract, this is what I'm going to break down for you today, an overview of the RLC, the rate lock consultation. You do a great job here. You take them to closing. You immediately call them 7 days after closing and make them a client for life. And every year you do an annual mortgage consultation. So what I'm going to break down for you guys now is a general overview of this highly critical rate lock consultation where all your work comes to a head. And the spotlight's going to be on in terms of you convincing that borrower to move forward with you by locking in the rate, paying for the appraisal. Let's go. So this rate lock consultation, what I want you to do immediately right now is I want you to hit the subscribe button, go down to the description. You're going to get this entire playbook for free $99. I encourage you to print it, have it on your desktop, have it on your desk. And every time you're about to have a rate lock consultation, just get 1 or 2 things implemented and watch what happens after about 7 to 8 of these. You're going to see a complete difference in how you approach home buyers, because just because you have the lowest rate doesn't mean they're going to work with you. People still value the way you articulate and lead them through the entire process. Okay. So this rate lock consultation, how it's going to start really, really matters. Most amateur loan officers, they just do a very highly rate centric conversation here. But if you focus on the rate the whole time, people will not look at you. Your prospects, your borrowers will not understand your value. Everything's around the rate. We don't want everything around the rate. So how I want you guys to think about this, before you have the actual call, okay? Before you have it, there's something called a pre-call strategy, okay? These calls have to be scheduled formally. It's a professional call. They can't be winged. They should preferably be on Zoom. Okay, because you can see people's face, their body language. You might want to do a screen share. These are little optics that very much matter. Okay, you don't go to a restaurant just for the food. You don't go in a white room with nothing but on the tables, but just a table and like silverware and a blank plate, right? The aesthetics, the music, the vibe, all are a part of your dining experience. It's like doing a rate lock consultation and not having a structure around it, just talking rate. Doesn't work that way. So you got to get them on the phone. And this playbook, I break down for you. If you have a licensed loan officer assistant, or otherwise known as a loan partner too, how they help you even do better. But if you don't have that just yet, this playbook will still tell you how to operate here at a high level as a solopreneur. As an LOpreneur, as a single loan officer, you'll be able to master this. Now, Step one, when you have this thing scheduled, the old saying of always be closing is very old and tired and worn out, okay? In order to always be closing, you have to be always opening, right? So the first step is always be opening. You've got to start strong. If you did a great initial loan consultation, got these people pre-approved, it'll help you even more. But I understand sometimes you will get home buyers that came to you under contract when you didn't talk to them before. No problem. Remember, most buyers, most borrowers, especially the first timers, they're very anxious at this stage. Things have probably happened way too fast for them. They found the home, they're under contract, a home inspection set off, they're talking to an attorney if you're in an attorney state. The best salespeople, the best entrepreneurs, they have empathy and attunement. They know what type of emotional state their prospects are coming in, right? You're there to calm them and find empathy. So emotions are high. Every detail matters. Your preparation, your presentation, and your tone will set up for success. So the script is in here. These are all neuro-linguistically programmed words, by the way. Okay. So don't add spice to these words. Trust the words work. Put your own tonality on it. But Mr. Borrower, it's great to connect with you again. Congratulations on going under contract for such a beautiful property. It may not be beautiful to you, but it's beautiful to them. Especially if they're not an investor and trying to flip it. It's important for them, right? You're reassuring them. You're excited. How are you feeling so far? Always start with people's hearts. Pull their hearts. Touch their hearts before you want to move their logic. You understand? Ask them, how are you feeling so far about the home? Pause and listen. Most people will feel, man, he's connecting with me. He's not just treating me like a number, right? He's actually asking me how I'm doing in this process genuinely. People far overlook this, okay? This quick emotional check-in shows care, it builds rapport, and it reminds them that you're a trusted guide, right? Not just a rate quoting machine. This part is always about listening to the whispers because you'll really know their screams. I always have the saying, micro reactions are really macro actions. Micro reactions are macro actions. What I'm doing here is I'm really understanding how they're feeling. Oh yeah, I'm feeling really nervous. You know, we'll see what happens with this property. I'm not sure. The inspection, you're getting an idea. Or they might come back, yep, we're under contract. Now we just want to know what the rates are. You'll get a very good idea the temperament these people are at. And so you can adjust, okay? So what you do here is anything they say, I want you to listen for passive comments. Right? Like, let's see what happens with the inspection, or let's see if we can get a really low rate. Pay attention to that, right? Now, what you want to do is say this. Before you call this borrower, it's your responsibility to look at the property online. That takes you 30 seconds. You have the contract. Go on, look at the property. For your own sake and for their sake. What are you looking for? Is the basement unfinished? Right? Is the house dilapidated? Does it look like an illegal unit that's there? How is the inside of the unit? Is the kitchen in place? That's what you're looking for. You're looking in the description online on the MLS, right? To understand if there's anything that might cause an appraiser or underwriter concern later on. Selflessly, what you're doing is saying, well, I'm looking at the property right now. I love it. If you don't love it, don't lie. You can say, what specifically do you love most about this property? But you see my tone? It's not, what specifically do you love about this property? It's, I'm looking at the property on right now. I love the backyard. Pick one thing that you love about the property. You can find it. And you ask them, what did you love about this property? This is called rapport building, man. You got to put the hard cookie in the microwave and soften up a little bit before you eat it. You understand? You got to warm people up, man. So from there, listen to what they say, right? You're looking at the property and you're going to ask, have you had the home inspection yet? Unless the home inspection was waived. Well, how did it go? Listen to their response. Because usually they'll tell you, we're not sure if the inspection's going to work. What you have to say regardless, pay attention, pause this part after I say it, and go back if you need to. A lot of people overlook this, but you cannot. Well, I just want you to know this. If this house fails because of the inspection, I won't be bummed because I want what's best for you. You'll never feel pressure from me and know that I'm on your timeline. So if it's not this home, the right home is out there for you. The best salespeople, they don't sell in order to sell. When you tell them, hey, no matter what happens with this home inspection, if it falls out, I'm on your side. That means the home is not the right home. and I'll be with you every step of the way. Right off the bat now, they're getting trust towards you, saying, man, thank you, because they still think you, if not you, most loan officers are only worried about their commission and their bottom line. That's not how you work, okay? All right, the agenda. If you watch some of my other videos, I've explained the best business people, the best entrepreneurs, the best loan officers, they lead people. Giving people directions at the beginning of what they're gonna experience shows that you're the professional, okay? Great advisors lead. Setting up the agenda on the front end signals professionalism, okay? And people will have a higher likelihood to move forward with you if they know you're an experienced pilot, okay? Well, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat with me today. The purpose of this call is to review the key items on the purchase contract. Then we'll go over your financing goals, right? And then we'll talk through all the most important next steps that happens, right? It's basically 1, 2, 3 items you talk about. You're giving them an overview of where they're going. Even in this video, what did I do at the beginning? I gave you the overview of how this all fits in. People like to feel like they get into a hot air balloon, go above the entire forest, see what they're going towards, and then they come down and they start chopping their trees. You have to give people general direction, okay? Now, if I go through all that, would that be okay? Pause and listen. Always confirm alignment before proceeding. See what they say. You got to let the pause find its power. Are you cool if we move forward with that? And sit on your hands, stop talking, get their confirmations, have it them start saying yes. Most first-time home buyers, you know what they'll say at that part? That'd be great. Thank you. Because here's what might happen. If they go shop you, especially if it's 2 buyers, boyfriend, girlfriend, right? Husband, wife, whatever it might be, I will tell you, they'll be at their kitchen table and they'll think, man, this other loan officer has just a little bit lower rate, but that guy was a slob. I really like him here. He's so professional. He's so structured. People have those conversations behind closed doors, okay? So how you present is good. All right, before we start, do you have any specific questions or concerns on your mind that you want me to address? Do you have any questions? Do you have any specific questions or concerns you have that you want me to address, right? This is critical because guess what? Your hardcore rate shoppers are gonna say what? I'm just interested in the best rate. I just can't wait to talk about rates. Now you know. All right, I better sharpen up my pencil because that's the #1 thing they're looking for. You understand? You should be able to ask inquisitive questions up front in a very non-assuming way to set yourself up in the next 5, 10, 15, 22 weeks of that important point of sale because you'll know what that borrower or prospect wants, okay? All right, that being said, you make an impact statement, all right? As always, my priority is for you to walk away from this conversation with total clarity and confidence, knowing exactly how your financing is structured. You see the rhythm? Always be opening, doing a pulse check of how they're feeling, giving them an agenda, and making an impact statement, right? Now, you go over the contract. All right, this establishes your credibility. People are buying a home. $100,000, $200,000, $500,000, $1 million. No matter what you might think, that's a big decision. That's a lot of money. They want to work with people that are thorough and professional. They want to make sure if he's on the details, I trust him. I see the property address is this. I see this is the purchase price. I see this is the home inspection date. I see the closing date is this. Are you guys planning on being in town for that closing date? Do you see anything happening with that closing date getting moved up, pushed back? I see these are the contingencies. I see you guys got a $5,000 seller credit. And I noticed that your earnest money is this. Now, depending on what state you're watching this, or I have loan officers that watch these videos around the world, in Canada, in the UK, in Australia, right? You have to figure out what works in your world. But most places in the United States have purchase price, property address, and a closing date. You might not have contingencies, you might not have seller credits, but you gotta do a soft overall review of the contract, right? All the scripting is in here. Don't get too technical here. Overview. You don't want to spend 20 minutes going over disclaimers of a purchase contract. Some of you are just overkill. You understand? You're cutting grass with scissors. Overview. Okay? Once you go through and you have a general consensus, now you're ready to go over the financing. Have you noticed I haven't talked rates yet? Have you noticed I haven't gotten the first 5 minutes like rates? That's what low-level loan officers do, is talk rates at the beginning of a conversation. High-level loan officers talk about that at the very end, okay? Now, hey, let's go back to your goals, right? When we first spoke, we discussed the price point of, for example, $500,000 and a down payment of $25,000. I see the contract has us doing 10% down. Is that what you guys are thinking? You got to start feeling out, right? Because the contract was written with the help of the real estate agent, right? So things might have changed. All right, cool. We also discussed that your ideal monthly payment is, for example, $3,000 a month, right? And you did not want to go above $3,500 a month. Is that still right? Anchor them down to where they need to be from a monthly payment. Remember, you focusing on the monthly payment will take their attention off the interest rate. Okay? Moving forward, based on the structure, right? How I've put together your mortgage, your payment's going to be $3,285 a month. This keeps you within the safe range. So let's break this all down. Your principal is this. Your interest is this. Remember we talked about PMI, private mortgage insurance, is going to be this, which by the way, I'm going to call you in a year or 2 years because I'm on a mission to help exterminate that PMI. That's what I do for you in many different ways. Your future framing, your value stack, how you take care of them, okay? So overall, homeowners association dues is all this. I've not talked rate yet. Before you bring up rate, I like this payment a lot for you. Are you comfortable with this payment? And pause. See what they say, okay? See what they say. You've expressed the payment. You future frame how you want to help them get rid of their PMI without even telling them how you're going to help them with the refinance down the road, potentially. Now you want to ask them, how do you feel with the payment, right? See what they say. This is all structured and locked through a closing date at a 6%, for example, which I'm really happy about as I already benchmarked this against the market and it's very competitive. This part, you guys, is so important. You cannot say the rate in a timid tone. You cannot stop after you say the rate. You have to make it feel very natural, right? This is all structured and locked already. I already took the precedence to go and lock this for you because the market's very volatile of 6%, which I'm really happy about. I already benchmarked this against the market. I've already gone out and done the research and done the apples for apples view, right? How do you feel about everything thus far? This is a critical, what's called pulse check. After you say the rate, you have to ask them, how do you feel about this so far? Silence is not golden. From there, you have to say, okay, so I've locked the rate, from a cash to close standpoint. You had mentioned to me you're comfortable putting $25,000 in all the way. Right now, our cash to close is X, right? This factors in your earnest money deposit and everything. You have to print this playbook and watch this. Here's where I see most loan officers fail. They get to this part and they do this incredibly overcomplicated analysis of the cash to close. Just give people the overarching numbers. This is your PITI-MI payment. This is your interest rate. This is your cash to close. And I feel good about it all because it aligns to what your goals were in that initial loan consultation, right? Now, from there, you're going to keep moving forward. You're going to listen to objections and rebuttals. First of all, some of you watching this, you get surprised when people are rate shopping you. Assume everybody's rate shopping you. So when you're aware that people are rate shopping you, your energy will either become defensive, fumbled, or it'll be, I was expecting this. I know how to get over this, okay? Your reaction is very important. Hey, I saw rates were lower online. Hey, can you match this other lender's rate? Hey, what if rates go down after we lock? All these objections and all the rebuttals are provided for you in this playbook. Once you hit the description and you download it, I've already provided objection IDs and responses for you how to overcome these things, okay? You got the goods here. From there, if they move forward, you're doing a temp check. Hey, I know we covered a lot. Any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts so far? Do not deviate from this. Any questions, comments, thoughts, or concerns so far? I want you to have these people on video because you'll be able to observe body language. On the phone, I want you to listen for hesitation. If there's two borrowers on the phone, say husband and wife, and the husband is the one doing a lot of the talking, you have to pause and check the pulse of the other spouse. Jackie, you've been really quiet. I want to make sure you feel heard. Do you have any questions, comments, concerns on any of this stuff? It's respect. And you never know. Sometimes the loudest is not the decision maker, right? You got to know who's really the decision maker, okay? Really, really important. Moving forward, you're going to go on the two most powerful words in sales, the next steps. Never end this call, or frankly, any sales conversation without casting forward what the most important next step is, the MINS, M-I-N-S, right? All right, Mr. Borrower, here's what happens next. Now, this part here is going to be very much nuanced based on how you, your team, your company flows. In my world, after I've locked the loan and done this call, my loan partner 3, aka loan processor, sends out all the disclosures, a link to pay for the appraisal, and a link to upload all the borrower's outstanding documents to prepare for a loan submission. Okay? So this is all you. You have to figure out how you do this. This is all process based, but don't do overkill here. Less is more. Okay? Almost to the finish line. Commitments. Mr. Borrower, before we wrap up, I want to explain to you 2 commitments, right, that I want to set up front. We found that all home buyers want to close on time with great communication throughout. So we're going to promise you 2 things that will happen over the course of your home loan process. And I'm going to ask you for 1 thing in return. As far as your closing goes, we discussed that the closing is set for X date. And we'll be sure to meet that date, as closing on time is very important for us. There's horror stories out there about discount mortgage lenders that bait you with a really low rate, but the process is a nightmare. They don't meet the closing date. They blow by mortgage contingencies. You have moving trucks lined up, and it's a horror story. I hear it every day because people will leave me for a 0.25% lower rate. Half the time, they come back and say, Amir, I had no idea. I thought getting a mortgage was like, click button, get mortgage. I'm like, no, there's a lot involved. If that was the case, I'd be working at these low discount lenders. So it matters. You see the storytelling? We're literally poking holes and fear in terms of what is the truth of the matter. Second, as far as great communication goes, you will receive at minimum a weekly call from me, giving you an update on Tuesdays, so you're always in the know. Pause and listen after you ask them, does that sound good? Step number 10 is always be closing. Well, excellent. Thank you, Mr. Borrowers. So here's what I ask of you in return. When there is anyone specific you care about that's looking to buy, sell, or refinance a property, please introduce them to me if you think I've earned it. And the best times to do that are on Tuesdays. At the end of those calls, I'm always going to ask you, how am I doing on a scale of 1 to 10? If I'm not a 9 or above, I will fix what it is. I don't believe in post-closing surveys because I can't fix anything. I want you to be super happy and be my client for life. This is how you go through it. Well, Mr. Borrower, we're really excited to work with you, and you move forward. Now, the cherry on top that I'm going to give you is if people are pushing back on rate, what you have to tell them is say, hey, this is the commitment I'm going to make for you. Number 1, I don't see this being a long-term mortgage. Right now, you have to say that carefully based on where market rates are, right? If you feel like we're in a market where it's going to be decreasing sometime in the future, you can say, most people never keep their mortgage for a long period of time. There's probably going to be a time where you're going to refinance. I will make a commitment for you that I will handle your refinance with no fees because there's no real estate agents involved. There's no attorneys involved. You're already in the home. I already have much of your profile. Doing a refinance to lower your interest rate when the time is right, it's easy work for me. I will do a free refinance for you guys, right? Now, you have to figure out how to do the pricing and all those things, but I have lost deals when I was a little baby puppy dog in this business to the big producers because they've said, Amir, we really like you, but Johnny at the other mortgage company said he's going to do a free refinance for us. I'm like, free refinance? That's because they're top producers and they know people want to feel like they're getting a 2-for-1, okay? Number 2, if they're still hardcore, what you have to say is, you know what? Do you have the other quote in writing? Would you mind sending it to me? Putting the rate to the side. If everything's equal, who would you end up going with? Who do you feel has done a better job of explaining things to you and providing better service? They should say you. Excellent. If I'm able to match that rate, do I have your commitment you'll move forward with me? Tie them down. You say, I'm going to go talk to my manager and see if we can match this. And if we can, I want your commitment they're going to move forward. I don't want to keep going back and forth. You got to tie them down. Some loans, you guys, you have to do, no pun intended, on the house. Some loans you're going to have to just do for free because it protects your positioning with your referral partner. It protects your reputation and people will refinance with you down the road. And the more volume you have, it also helps you with your marketability as a loan officer if you're ever thinking about leaving your company, right? Because it's the volume play. That's what great business people do, right? Whether you run a restaurant, whether you run a tire shop, you know how to take care of certain situations, give discounts or a free dessert if the service wasn't good, right? Or a discount if someone comes back the next time. There's nothing different. You have to know how you're gonna have to roll with people. Are some people hardcore rate shoppers that no matter what you give them will shop you? Absolutely. You think $100 million producers, $500 million a year producers don't get rate shopped? Everybody gets rate shopped. You're not gonna win every at bat, but you're gonna have to figure out how to get your batting percentage up and bend the probability. And studying this playbook will get you there. Print this out, go through it all, happy hunting, and remember, if you're a really good quality loan officer, it's your right and your duty to learn how to sell and how to illustrate your value, because every home buyer should work with you. If you don't do a great job here, they'll end up using some low ticket discount loan officer that has no idea what they're doing, and they might put them in a bad mortgage. So it's your responsibility to master this. So if you're an aspiring top producing loan officer, or you already are a top producing loan officer and wants to go to the next level, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button. You're going to want to go to the description, download this playbook, smash like on this video, because I'm committed to giving you guys the cheat code to continue to level up in your loan officer business. Let's go.